Hello friends, I will try to upload few videos on the series of lectures on the limits of a function. First of all, the limit, that English word, come from a Latin word limem, which means threshold. We all know that Isaac Newton and Leibniz are the father figures of the branch of calculus. So Newton, in his book Principia, mentioned the idea of limit as follows, to which they approach nearer than by any given difference but never go beyond, nor in effect attain to, till the quantities are diminished in infinitum. So that means limits are the idea for the quantities to be close to one another. So what's the main idea of limit? Limit of a function. Suppose a real valued function have a limit at some point a. That means fx is arbitrarily close to that limit when x is very close to that point a, but not exactly a. So we are not bothered about the exact value if a. So the functional value at that point is not required at that moment. So before giving the formal definition of a limit of a function, we can have to recall what's the limit point of a set. Suppose D is a subset of R, then D is said to have a limit point A if for all positive epsilon there exists at least one point x different from A in D, such that the difference of x minus A is less than delta. That means this is the idea of deleted neighborhood. So this is the idea of limit point. Now for a function f from D to R, a real number L is said to be a limit of a function f at the point A if for pre-assigned arbitrary positive value epsilon there exists another positive value delta such that the difference fx minus L is less than epsilon. So this difference is less than epsilon whenever the difference of x minus a is less than delta. So that means fx will be very close to L when x will be arbitrarily close to that point A. So this is the fundamental idea of limit of a function. So using this epsilon delta definition, we can have to solve the following problem. Show that limit x tends to 0, x sine 1 by x is 0. So how can we prove that? So for arbitrary positive epsilon, we have to find some delta for which fx minus 0 is less than epsilon whenever 0 less than x minus 0 is less than delta, because here a is nothing but 0. Now what's the difference fx minus 0? This is x sine 1 by x minus 0, that is mod x sine 1 by x, and sine 1 by x will be less than 1. So this is less or equals to mod x. Then mod x is less than epsilon. This relation holds if 0 less than x minus 0 is less than delta. So we can easily choose this delta same as epsilon. So given positive epsilon, we can find some delta to fulfill our goal. So such limit will be 0 when x will approach 0. Here one thing, meaning is threshold, but not exactly x is 0. So x is approaching to 0. So in another video we will give the idea of one-sided limit or both-sided limit, but the basic idea is that x is approaching to 0, x is not exactly 0. Now this is the next result. So we have got the idea of limit of a function, but question arises whether this limit is unique or not. So this result says that limit of a function is unique if exists. So what's the proof? If possible, let fx has two limits L and L prime at some point x equals to a. Then epsilon positive be some arbitrary number. Then there exist two positive numbers. There exist two positive numbers delta 1 and delta 2 such that fx minus L prime fx minus L is less than epsilon by 2 whenever this relation less than delta 1, and fx minus L2 fx minus L prime is less than epsilon by 2 whenever this difference is less than epsilon delta 2. So for same epsilon there exists two different delta due to two different limits. Now we have to compute the difference L minus L prime. So this is nothing but L minus fx plus fx minus L prime. Then using triangular inequality we can have this is less or equals to L minus fx plus fx minus L prime. This is less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2. So that means epsilon. Since epsilon is arbitrary positive number, then this difference must vanish. That means L is nothing but L prime. So this limit of a function must be unique. Now this is very useful result. This is the sequential criteria for limit of a function. Suppose f is a function defined from D to R and A is a limit point of D, then the following results are equivalent. So this first one says that limit extends to a fx equals to L. So this is the limit of the function for x approaching to a, and the next one says that for each sequence xn converging to a in D minus a, the sequence fxn should converge to L. So these are two equivalent results. So from 1 to 2, how can we prove? It is given that the limit of fx is L, then fx minus L is less than epsilon whenever this difference should be less than some delta, that is a positive number. Let us choose that let xn be a sequence converging to a when xn not equals to a for all n, because xn converging to a in D minus a. So in the domain D, the point a is excluded because a is the limit point of D. So for given positive delta, there exists some positive integer n naught dependent on delta such that this difference xn minus a is less than delta for all n greater or equals to n naught. So clearly from this result fxn minus L should be less than epsilon for all n greater or equals to n naught. Then clearly taking the limit n tends to infinity, fxn will be L. That means we have proved that if such limit exists, then for such condition fxn must converge to L. So this is the first part. And for the second part, suppose xn converge to A, where xn not equals to A for all n, then we have choose that limit fxn is L. But we are considering that limit x tends to fx does not exist. So this is our trick, and we have to prove this result in a contrapositive way. Then since such limit does not exist, then there exists some epsilon naught positive such that no suitable delta can be found, because if such limit exists, then we can find epsilon as well as delta. But in this case, no suitable delta can be found. Thus, whatever n be, 1 by n can't be a suitable delta. So there exists at least one point xn such that this difference 0 less than x minus a, xn minus a less than 1 by n. But the difference fxn minus l should be greater or equals to epsilon naught, because no such delta can be found. So we have got that xn approaching to a when n tends to infinity, but fxn does not approaching to l as n tends to infinity, but we have assumed that limit fxn equals to n. So this is the contradiction to our assumption. So our assumption is wrong, and clearly such limit must exist. So in a contrapositive way, we have proved that for each sequence xn converging to a, if this sequence fxn converts to L, then clearly limit extends to a, fx should be L. So this is the basic result of the limit of a function. So this is called the sequential criteria to have a limit of a function. So thanks a lot.